Floor is yours, Madam Chair.
The Public Improvement Commission, Todd, will you take attendance?
Certainly. The representative from the Transportation Department, state his or her name.
Amy Gordon?
Property Management.
Joseph Callahan.
Inspectional Services.
Brian Ronan.
Water and Sewer Commission.
Denise Devlin.
Disabilities Commission.
Sarah Leon.
And my understanding is a member of the Public Works Department is not present, but we do have quorum. Take it away.
All right, at the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, I will make a motion to accept the minutes of the PIC hearing held on August 25th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to accept the hearing minutes on August 25th, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, utility pole hearing on a petition by Verizon New England, Inc. for utility pole installation within Emerson Street, Public Way, South Boston, to install one new private utility pole to be located on its southwesterly side across from address numbers 96 and 98 between East Broadway and 8th Street.
Hi, James Day Toronto, representing Verizon New England. Yeah, you pretty much said it there. We're relocating pole 3 Emerson to accommodate new construction at 582 East Broadway and accommodate a new driveway as well. Are there any questions?
Is the pole in front of the same property?
Yes, should be. Based on what I see, it could be at the property line. It's kind of tough to see from the sketch. It's only moving about 5 feet.
Any questions or comments from commission members? From PIC staff?
We are all set on this one. It looks to be generally straddling the side property line.
Perfect. I'll entertain a motion on utility pole hearing number 1.
I make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for utility pole installation within Emerson Street as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public hearing on a set of petitions by the City of Boston Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Dorchester and West Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, storm drain infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. Ashmont Street on its northerly side at Bruce Street at Ashmont Street, Boylston Street on its northeasterly side at Belmore Terrace at Boylston Street. New business 825-2022 is shown on 2 plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Prepared Plan. Ashmont Street at Bruce Street, Dorchester, 1 sheet dated August 18th, 2022, and a City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Prepared Plans, Boylston Street at Belmore Terrace, West Roxbury, 1 sheet dated August 18th, 2022.
Hey, good morning, Commission. Jeffrey Alexis with the City of Boston Public Works Engineering Division. I'm here joined by Michael Doobie and Joe Johnson from GPI. In collaboration with our Public Works Construction Management Division, we are proposing to make some pedestrian safety improvements at these 2 locations, Ashmont Street and Bruce Street, as well as Boylston Street and Belmore Terrace, to essentially put these 2 ramps, or these 4 ramps in compliance. It requires some curb geometry changes, as well as some drainage work. I will turn it over to Michael Doobie to explain a little bit more of what we're going to do at these locations. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. So Michael Doobie with GPI. First location, as Jeff mentioned, is Ashmont Street at Bruce Street in Dorchester. Scope of the work includes reconstructing 2 existing pedestrian ramps at the corners of Ashmont and Bruce Street to provide ADA compliant pedestrian ramps. Work includes minor realignments of curb lines to better align the approach and minimize pedestrian crossing length, sidewalk reconstruction, and pavement mill and overlay. We also have a second location, which is Boylston Street at Belmore Terrace in West Roxbury. Again, we're installing 2 ADA compliant pedestrian ramps at the corners of Belmore Terrace and Boylston Street. The work includes minor realignment curb lines, to align the Bruce Street approach and minimize pedestrian crossings, sidewalk reconstruction, pavement mill overlay, and the reconstruction of one drainage structure at the northeast corner. During the initial new business hearing, there was one comment to coordinate with BTD regarding a future contraflow bike lane on Boylston Street. We reached out and BT indicated there was no conflict between our plan and that future bike lane improvements. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from commission members? PIC staff?
All set.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 1.
I make the motion to approve a set of petitions by the city's Public Works Department for specific repairs at Ashmont and Bruce Streets, and also Boylston Street and Belmore Terrace, as more particularly read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
All right, public hearing number 2, on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Dorchester, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, street light infrastructure, street trees, storm drain infrastructure, driveway curb cuts, raised crosswalks, and speed humps. Hancock Street, generally between Bowden Street and Columbia Road. Birch Street, generally between Hancock Street and Columbia Road. Payson Avenue, generally between Hancock Street and Glendale Street. Glendale Street, generally between Hancock Street and Columbia Road. Bellevue Street, generally between Quincy Street and Columbia Road. Stanley Street, generally between Quincy Street and Bellevue Street. Troll Street, generally between Hancock Street and Bellevue Street. Ronan Street, generally east of Bellevue Street. Ware Street, generally between Troll Street and Brill Street. Brill Street, generally between Hancock Street and Ware Street. Howe Street, generally between Hancock Street and Howe Terrace. Ferndale Terrace, generally northeast of Quincy Street. Cameron Street, generally between Hancock Street and Tovar Street. Clarkson Street, generally between Quincy Street and Trent Street. Trent Street, generally between Clarkson Street and Coleman Street. Henry Street, generally between Bowden Street and Clarkson Street. Coleman Street, generally between Henry Street and Trent Street. Jerome Street, east of Hancock. Rowell Street, northeast of Hancock Street. New business, 8/25/2022, is shown in a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, Neighborhood Slow Streets Program, Hancock Street, Triangle, Dorchester, 21 sheets, dated September 22nd, 2022.
Hi, good morning. Dan Merrill from the Boston Transportation Department. I've been working on these plans with Public Works. This is the latest in our neighborhood slow streets zones, as mentioned, and I have Radu Nan from Kittleson here, who is going to walk you through the plans. Thanks, Radu.
Good morning. In front of you, we have the general map locating the speed humps proposed for the interior streets within the zone. The plans proposed installing 24 speed humps, generally spaced between 300 and 150 feet apart. The distance between these speed humps determined based on field observations. The field observations clear the locations of these speed humps of existing utility covers, cascades, water castings, and other surface utilities. The spacing of these speed humps generally identified in order to promote an even travel speed for vehicles consistent with the newly proposed zone-wide 20 miles an hour speed limit. I have some specific sheets outlining the individual location of the speed humps that I can flip through, but before moving on to those and specific repairs at specific intersections, I'll entertain any questions. Okay.
Questions or comments from commission members? Questions or comments from PIC staff?
We're all set on the speed humps. Do have a couple comments on some of the curb extensions, but I'll let Ritu present that first.
Sure. Thank you, Todd. The first intersection we're focused on your screen right now is between Hancock Street, Bird Street, Jerome Street. The specific repairs at this intersection include minor realignment of the curb lines, reconstructing of sidewalks, reconstructing pedestrian ramps on all corners to bring them into compliance with the ADA requirements, narrowing the street pavement widths to promote shorter, safer crossing for pedestrians, drainage improvements, streetlight relocations, and milling and overlay of the pavement surface within the intersection area. Are there any entertain any questions specifically about this location? We can move on.
All right, let's keep moving.
All right. Next locations are the intersections of Hancock Street, Troll Street, and Hancock Street, Rail and Roll. Similar street repairs as previously listed for the previous intersection, the realignment of edge lines along Hancock Street, Troll Street, Rail, and Roll Streets, reconstructing of pedestrian ramps, narrowing of crossing distances for pedestrians, reconnections or adjustments to the street drainage infrastructure to maintain positive flows within the street limits, milling and overlay of the pavement surface, and I believe those are all of the proposed changes within these two intersections. In one streetlight relocation. Next location along Hancock Street is generally in front of 131. This is a charter school. The proposed specific repairs here include realignment of the curb lines on Hancock Street to narrow the existing crossing and constructing of ADA compliant pedestrian ramps to facilitate the crossing at this location. The reconstruction also includes sidewalk repair and two driveways and a new drainage inlet to maintain positive drainage within the street limit. Milling and overlay is also included within the limits of the reconstruction at this area. Our last location is a system of two intersections. The intersections are generally located on Bellevue Street, between Stanley Street, Troll Street. The proposed repairs here include reconstruction of sidewalks and realignment of existing curb lines, expand the sidewalk width between Stanley Street and Troll Street along Bellevue Street, construction of a raised crosswalk south of Troll Street intersection with Bellevue Street, reconstruction of pedestrian ramps, make them ADA compliant, and the planting of new trees within approximately 290 feet of proposed pervious space along the Stanley Bellevue Park frontage.
I think that, right, well, I think Todd's got a question here, but it pertains to your Loman seat.
Sure.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Stephanie as well, with BTD, and she confirmed that these loam and seed areas here in front of the park are going to be switched out to standard tree pits, open tree pits within a cement concrete sidewalk.
We'll make those adjustments and resubmit the plans for your records.
Yep, that'd be great. Just have that show up on the Mylar. It's perfect.
Any other questions or comments by PIC staff or commission members?
I'm all set. I will just remind the public, if they wish to add testimony or ask questions, you can do so by clicking the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 2.
I make a motion to approve a joint petition by the city's Transportation Department and Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs in Dorchester, in the neighborhood of Hancock Street, and as the specific location as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, public hearing item number 3 on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Roxbury consisting of new speed humps. Abbotsford Street, generally between Walnut Ave and Harold Street. Brookwood Street, generally between Humboldt Avenue and Elms Hill Avenue. Crawford Street, generally between Walnut Avenue and Warren Street. Crestwood Park, generally north of Townsend Street. Deckard Street, generally between Warren Street and Humboldt Avenue. Harold Street, generally between Seaver Street and Wambach Street. Harrishoff Street, generally between Walnut Avenue and Humboldt Avenue. Hazelwood Street, generally between Warren Street and Sylvia Place. Hollander Street, generally between Hallworthy Street and Crawford Street. Hallworthy Street, generally between Hollander Street and Walnut Ave / Crawford Street. Homestead Street, generally between Walnut Ave and Elm Hill Avenue. Hutchings Street, generally between Elm Hill Ave and Harold Street. Monroe Street, generally between Walnut Ave and Humboldt Ave. Parkview Street, generally between Seaver Street and Hutchings Streets. Ruthven Street, generally between Walnut Ave and Elm Hill Ave. Townsend Street, generally between Washington Street and Warren Street. Wabano Street, generally between Wyoming Street and Waban Street. Waban Street, generally between Warren Street and Wabano Street. Wambach Street, generally between Warren Street and Harold Street. Winona Street, generally between Wambach Street and Harold Street. Wyoming Street, generally between Warren Street and Humboldt Ave. New business 8/25/2022, and is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, David Ellis Speed Humps, Roxbury, 11 sheets dated July 28th, 2022.
Thank you, Amy. So I'm here to discuss this project with Preston Burer from Tool Design Group, and I'm going to give a quick overview of some of the context, and then we could talk about the speed humps in particular. And I know there is a member of the public who's calling in, so at the end, if you could repeat how to unmute yourself if you're calling in, that would be great. So.
Sure. We'll call on them at the appropriate time. They can press *6 to unmute.
Thank you. So the goals of the project are to improve safety, encourage walking and biking to school through education programming and street design improvements. This is the larger Safe Routes to School project. And the engineering project is to address neighborhood concerns about speeding on residential streets. There's also a project to create safer crossings near the elementary school. And then there's a programming element to work with the schools, and that's being led by the Safe Routes to Schools Task Force, led by BPHC. So why in Roxbury? Roxbury has the highest percentage of children of any neighborhood in Boston. This neighborhood applied several times for neighborhood slow streets, and they scored very highly. There's a large number of destinations for youth, schools, YMCA, parks, playgrounds, the National Center for Afro-American Arts, and the community has asked for speed humps for quite some time. There have been 3 sort of sub-projects out of this. There was a demonstration project last year involving a street mural. What we're discussing today is the second part, the speed hump project, and then there's a separate MassDOT project involving intersection improvements. And this diagram, which is posted online, shows the 6 intersections where MassDOT will be making improvements, as well as the locations of the speed humps we're discussing today. And the MassDOT project is on a different time frame. They expect to do more community engagement this fall and construction next year or the following. So the speed hump plan involves speed humps distributed widely throughout the neighborhood on the residential streets, not on the main streets that we know there will be emergency traffic and buses. There's approximately 93 speed humps. They're spaced generally between 200 and 250 feet apart. We avoided surface utilities, so any types of manholes, cascades, any type of utility covers, streetlight covers. We avoided driveways, tried to be about minimum of 10 feet away from any driveway, And where there is a driveway, we prioritize the backing out of drivers on one-way streets so that they wouldn't hit any speed humps while they're backing out. So I'll go back to the plan, and if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thanks, Charlotte. Questions or comments from commission members? All right. Questions or comments from PIC staff?
No, our phone-in testimony may press *6 to unmute themselves this time.
Oh,
Can't hear you if you're speaking. For what it's worth, my understanding is that this individual is going to speak in support of this project. Charlotte may be able to fill in the blanks, but we invite you to try one last time, *6.
yeah. He asked, so I've got him on speakerphone. I don't know if we'll be able to hear, but maybe we can try it. David, would you like to try speaking?
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me okay, sir?
It's pretty hard to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me try again. How about now?
Can you?
That'll work. Give it a shot.
How are you?
They're good.
Oh, keep got to say something. I can't hear him.
Yes, I think they're interested in hearing your comments.
Okay, I'm just calling because I live on Main Street and I'm concerned about the speed humps being placed on our street, and it should be done urgently. I'm a bride with a disabled person, and a lot of people that become the street or the street, I think
I'm sorry, Charlotte. He's breaking up. We really can't understand what
Okay,
what he
I'm
has to
sorry,
say.
the audio's not working, but if I can summarize, he's saying that he's blind, and there are many people on the street who are very concerned about the speeding up to 50 miles an hour, so he strongly supports the speed humps and wants them to happen soon. Is that a fair assessment?
yes, and also
Yes.
just let them know that people are afraid to get out of their cars because the speed that they're traveling at on that street, they're afraid that they'll take the either driver's door off or the passenger off and drag you down the street as well.
Okay, and people are afraid to get out of their cars, that they will get dragged down the street.
Great. Any other questions or comments from the public? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 3.
I make a motion to approve a joint petition by the City Transportation and Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs in the general area of Humboldt Ave, Warren Street, and Harold Street, and with the specific locations as more particularly read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Public hearing item number 4, on a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC and Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Trinity Place Public Way, Boston proper, located on southwesterly side at the rear of 171 Dartmouth, southeast of Stewart Street, new business 8/25/2022, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, Trinity Place, Boston proper, one sheet dated May 5th, 2022.
Hi, this is Mark Younghans with VHB, here to present on this project. Let me just share my screen, if you just give me a moment. Okay. I'm hoping you can see that.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I guess full screen doesn't work when you're presenting. Okay. All right. This is for 171 Dartmouth Street, which is the first phase of the Back Bay South End Gateway project. I'll zoom in a little. It's located right here at the intersection of Stewart Street and Dartmouth Street in the Back Bay, next to, of course, the formerly the John Hancock Building. This is the existing garage that is being redeveloped as the Back Bay South End Gateway project. And the first phase involves a 28-story office building with associated ground floor retail. You can see the existing Back Bay station here. These are future buildings that are currently planned, the Simon Building here, and then 3 future phases of this project. The building that we're talking about today is the one in white. It was presented a couple weeks ago, but I thought I'd give a quick refresher. This is Dartmouth Street here, Stewart Street just in the background. The proposed project is shown here. Once again, Dartmouth Street here, Stewart Street running into the frame. This is a view on Stewart Street. One of the features of this building is that it takes what is currently a wall on Stewart Street and turns it into the building's front door. And more importantly, it creates a portal where pedestrians can go right through the building and get to Back Bay Station, where right now you have to go all the way around the block and up Dartmouth Street to get there. This provides a dedicated passageway through the building to Back Bay Station. You can see part of the existing garage here. This building reutilizes that garage and integrates it into the building. This street here is Trinity Place, which up into about this proposed pedestrian bridge is an existing public way, and we're proposing to make modifications to Trinity Place as well as part of this project. This is a close-up view on Dartmouth Street. Once again, Dartmouth Street right now is there are stairs and it's not permeable and it does not engage the street. The proposed project does that with the new lobby for the building here and then activated retail all the way up to the Back Bay Station entrance. Also substantial improvements in the street, which we'll get to. This is the existing condition along Stewart Street. The building is not engaging with the public realm. This portion of the garage will be demolished and integrated into the building, and what we're going to end up with is something just a little friendlier. So the first action that is being proposed is the widening and relocation of Trinity Place. Once again, Trinity Place is a public way. A portion of it is owned as private fee, a portion of it is owned as public fee. In the existing condition, Trinity Place only has a sidewalk on one side. The widening and relocation is intended to widen the right-of-way so that there can be a public sidewalk on both sides of Trinity Place. So there is a continuous public pedestrian path that ties back to Stewart Street. This is a result of design coordination between Mass DOT, who is the site owner. This is an air rights project, just as a reminder that where it's a cooperative effort between Boston Properties as the owner and Mass DOT. So the widening location provides the space for a sidewalk on both sides while maintaining the function of Trinity Place. I think that's it for this action. It is being given as a easement for highway purposes and has been coordinated with the legal department within Public Works.
Questions or comments by commission members? Questions or comments by PIC staff?
All set?
I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 4.
The motion to approve a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the widening and relocation of right-of-way lines of Trinity Place, as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 5 on a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC, Trinity Stewart Development LLC, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, and the Boston Planning Development Agency for the vertical discontinuance of portions of the following public ways in Boston proper, vertically above the grades of the roadways. Stewart Street on its southeasterly side between Dartmouth Street and Trinity Place southeast of Stewart Street, New business 82522, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance Plan Vertical, Stewart Street, Trinity Place, Boston proper, one sheet dated November 16th, 2021.
Thank you very much. Mark Younghans with VHB presenting on behalf of Boston Properties and the design team for 171 Dartmouth, the first phase of the Back Bay South End Gateway project. This portion is for discontinuance of two small areas on Stewart Street where building entry canopies are located. This is the building entry canopy here over the entrance to the Back Bay Station connector, and then this is the building entrance canopy for the main entrance for the building. There's also proposed a vertical discontinuance for the pedestrian bridge on Trinity Place. I should note that the pedestrian bridge design has been coordinated with Inspectional Services, Boston Water and Sewer, the fire department, to make sure that the clearance that we're providing is appropriate. And also we did some proactive utility upgrades in this area to make sure that the maintenance would be not necessary for quite a long time as far as getting machinery in and out of there. This pedestrian bridge is just this limit that's shown here. A portion of this building is owned in fee by private, and the portion we're talking about now is owned in fee as public. So we're discontinuing it. These three pieces, which are part of existing public ways, which are fee owned by the City of Boston, as discontinuances to support these project elements. Any questions?
Questions or comments by commission members? PIC staff.
All set.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 5.
I'd make a motion to approve a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC, Trinity Stewart Development LLC, and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation and the Boston Planning and Development Agency for the vertical discontinuance of portions of Stewart Street and Trinity Place as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 6 on a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC, Trinity Stewart Development LLC, and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the vertical discontinuance of portions of Trinity Place Public Way, Boston proper, located on the southeast of Stewart Street, vertically above the grade of the roadway. New business 825-2022 is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance Plan, vertical, Trinity Place, Boston proper, one sheet dated November 16, 2021.
Thank you. This is for the privately owned portion of the land where the proposed pedestrian bridge is located within Trinity Place. And that's, went back a plan, sorry about that. Okay, here we are. Nope. Okay. This triangle here is the privately owned land that the pedestrian bridge is going to be located in, and so the public street rights, we're requesting that those be extinguished in this vertical space above the roadway, just in the space where the proposed pedestrian bridge is going to be located. So it's really just for this one area.
Questions or comments by commission members? Questions or comments by PIC staff?
All set.
I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 6.
I make a motion to approve a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC, Trinity Stewart Development LLC, Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the vertical discontinuance of portions of Trinity Place as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 7 on a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Dartmouth Street Public Way, Boston proper, located on its northeasterly side at address number 171 southeast of Stewart Street, new business 825-2022, is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, Dartmouth Street, Boston proper, one sheet dated March 4th, 2022.
Thank you. This action is related to providing public easement rights, pedestrian easement rights over what is the existing sidewalk along Dartmouth Street. This existing sidewalk is actually part of what was the air rights development, but a public pedestrian easement needs to be provided here to create continuous public pedestrian rights. So we're proposing about a 15-foot wide easement that extends from the property line, which is actually just behind the curb, to a spot just in front of the proposed building, so that there's a constant 15-foot wide public pedestrian right along Dartmouth Street where there is not one there today. And this will be, and this is being provided by Mass DOT as the site owner.
Questions or comments by commission members? PIC staff?
All set?
I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 7.
I make a motion to approve a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Dartmouth Street as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Public hearing item number 8. On a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, traffic signal infrastructure, street lighting infrastructure, street furniture, street trees, planters, landscaping, irrigation infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, groundwater recharge infrastructure, bike racks, bollards, and raised crosswalk. Dartmouth Street at address number 171, generally southeast of Stewart Street between Dartmouth Street and Trinity Place on its southwesterly side of southeast of Stewart Street, new business 8/25/2022, is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repair plans, Dartmouth Street, Stewart Street, and Trinity Place, 171 Dartmouth Street, Boston, 4 sheets dated September 20th, 2022.
Thank you very much. Once again, Mark Younghills with BHB on behalf of Boston Properties. We have OJB on the phone, who's the landscape architect, if there are questions, as well as Stantec, who is the architect. As you would expect, this substantial new building is proposing a big upgrade to the public spaces around it in cooperation with the city. We've spent a lot of time with BTD and disabilities and the BPDA coming up with a streetscape design that makes sense. You'll note that this blue line here is the existing curb line. So the project massively upgrades the pedestrian realm, provides a bus stop and shelter, bike racks, landscaping improvements, and signal and roadway curb updates, including bump outs on both sides of the road that are included as part of this project to complete what BTD and disabilities would like to see on Stewart Street. The proposed project is providing planters, in-ground planters where possible. This area along Dartmouth Street is a structure over the highway, so we're providing containers above ground to support the trees. All of this hatching is concrete pavement, so it is City of Boston standard and what the Disabilities Commission ideally likes to see as a public pedestrian path. Over the last 2 weeks, we've made some updates to the plans based on comments from BTD, and we are providing a raised crosswalk here at the intersection of Stewart Street and Trinity Place to signal vehicles that this is different from the main road, because this provides a lot of pedestrian access. It's the front door to the 40 Trinity project. It also is access to the existing service areas to make sure that it's clear that this is a different kind of a space and will protect those pedestrians. All of the materials have been coordinated with the Disabilities and Public Works, and all of the signal design has been coordinated with the BTD Signal Division. Substantial upgrades in the signal design, and the project TAPA has been completed, and all of these improvements are completed within that. The proposed Specific repair improvements are on Dartmouth Street, Stewart Street, and now the widened Trinity Place. Are there any questions?
For the new raised crossing, it's showing ramps. Will it be a ramp crossing or will it be completely flush at Trinity Place?
We are actually, that's a good question. We're proposing a 3-inch raised crosswalk, which means these ramps in the end will get smaller. We just didn't catch up with this ramp. We have to make sure that our reciprocal ramps are compliant. And the reason is because we do expect a decent amount of truck traffic coming in and out of here. The 3 was a good compromise between a fully flush condition and a street level condition.
Great, thank you.
I mean, if you end up with the ramp on the other side, you might, right, like lowering that down might make it flush without coming, right? I think, I guess, we'll give this design when it's finally back, right, with grades and everything on it, to me and Sarah. Right, like I think that we understand the intent here, but it seems like maybe lower, right, like rather than having this weird 3-inch thing, if both sides kind of came down to that, but we could get it almost to look like continuous sidewalk, albeit slightly depressed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, I'd love to take a look at that and finalize
That would make
Sure.
for a nicer sidewalk and yet not compromise the truck angle.
Oh yeah, and it'll feel more continuous as well.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. Thank you.
Any other comments from commission members? PIC staff?
We'll just note that these plans will be updated slightly to include all reciprocal ramps, and all the improvements will be covered by a standard LMI agreement.
Yep. So the areas along the building, just to be clear, are going to be maintained by the project.
Yes. Yeah, not across the street.
Okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 8.
I make the motion to approve a joint petition by BP Hancock LLC and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the making of specific repairs, as more particularly described by the chair, at Dartmouth Street, Stewart Street, and Trinity Place.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public hearing item number 9, on a petition by LBC Boston Partners Properties LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easements adjacent to the following public ways in Brighton. Linden Street on its easterly side at addresses number 16 to 22 between Cambridge Street and Pratt Street on its northeasterly side at address number 6 east of Linden Street. New business 8/25/2022 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division pedestrian easement plan, Alston Green 16 and 22 Linden Street and 6 Pratt Street, Alston, 2 sheets dated August 17, 2022.
Good morning, Tim Hayes from Bowler Engineering, representing LBC Boston Partners Properties LLC. I have with me Guy Busa from Howard Stein Hudson, traffic engineer, as well as representatives from LBC on the line, Margarita and Sabrina. We presented at the last hearing. My colleague Steve Martirano was the one presenting. He's a conflict today, so I'm presenting on his behalf. Let me share my screen with you guys. Is that working?
Yes.
Thank you. So this is a similar presentation that we prepared last time. I'll go through it quickly just to familiarize everyone with the site. 16 and 22 Linden Street and 6 Pratt Street, otherwise known as Alston Green. Located here, to orient you, this is Cambridge Street Bridge, Linden Street through here, and Pratt Street. So our project is the red, fronts on both Pratt Street and Linden Street. Just a bit about the project itself. It's 3 buildings, 2 of which are over a garage podium here, buildings A and B, and a smaller building C, totaling approximately 300 units. It's a quick picture of the project. And then getting into the streetscape, this is the existing view of Linden Street looking towards Cambridge Street in the background. Today, there's about a 7-foot sidewalk with adjacent to the building that's going to be demoed. And there's a 7-foot parking lane and about a 17-foot clear lane for the one-way drive towards Cambridge. The proposed condition, we're providing, a minimum 5-foot sidewalk, some places more, as well as a 5-foot furnishing zone with street trees and pavers, parking lane, and a bike lane outside of that. And this is over on Pratt Street, so we're on Pratt Street, standing looking at Linden Street. So existing conditions today, it's a 2-way street with parking on the left-hand side and a 6'6" sidewalk, just a concrete sidewalk. We're providing, again, similar to before, we're providing a 5-foot minimum sidewalk, some additional space sometimes at the building facade, moves in and out, and then 4-foot greenscape furnishing zone with lighting and street trees as you go down. So comments in the last hearing were, I think, in regards to 2 ramp locations, which we have worked with accessibility to come up with some solutions that I think are better than what we had before.
Kevin, sorry to cut you off. We're just, let's focus on the pedestrian easement action, and then we can move to the specific repairs after that.
Apologies, Todd. The pedestrian easement actions, I will flip down, that we're requesting are grant a pedestrian easement both on Linden Street in order to provide the complete streets in this location. So it's about a 4-foot easement all along Linden Street, and then similarly on Pratt Street, we're going to have a granted pedestrian easement here. What you're seeing is in red is the easement itself behind the existing sidewalk today. So that would be what we're looking for the granted pedestrian easement. Any comments or questions from the commission on that piece?
Questions or comments from commission members? PIC staff?
We're good on the easement, thank you.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 9.
I make a motion to approve a petition by LBC Boston Partners Properties LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easements at Linden Street and Pratt Street, and more further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Motion passes. Public hearing item number 10 on a petition by LBC Boston Partners Properties LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Brighton, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, planters, landscaping, irrigation infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, bike racks, and driveway curb cuts. Linden Street generally at address numbers 16 to 22 between Cambridge Street and Pratt Street generally at address number 6 east of Linden Street, Cambridge Street on its southerly side at Linden Street, new business 82522, is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, Alston Green, 16 and 22 Linden Street and 6 Pratt Street, Alston, 5 sheets dated August 17, 2022, revised September 6, 2022.
Tim Hayes again with Bowler Engineering representing LBC. And I got ahead of myself there, as Todd pointed out. For the specific repairs, I think that the questions that came up last time during our hearing were in regards to a couple ramps to have a study. So we took a look at both the ramp and crosswalk connection up at the intersection of Cambridge Street and Linden Street, which is showing here. And subsequently, we looked at another ramp connection at Linden Street and Pratt Street, or at Pratt Street that I will flip over to. But generally, the comment was during the last hearing was that it's a difficult ramp and crosswalk location, given that it was set back from Cambridge Street so far, and so we took another look at it and has some coordination with accessibility to kind of look at another version where we actually move that ramp as far as we could towards the north, towards Cambridge Street to make sure that we could provide a better sight distance and provide that stop bar a little further closer to the Cambridge Street intersection. So that's what's reflected in, if I go from previous to revised, you can see we moved it about 8 feet as far as we could north, and I did a quick sketch of generally where we had previously the ramp is here, and this is kind of crude, but generally then the ramp's going to be in between the existing pole and the guy wire pole, and all the work would be before the bridge abutment. So, and I think we did some studies, and we went out there and took a look and measurements and made sure this all could work, and we believe that the ramp that we can provide here is going to meet the accessibility code. So that was the first ramp that we looked at, and then the second ramp that we were asked to look at was the ramp over on Pratt Street. There's a utility pole that's somewhat problematic for this ramp. The location we previously had, we studied this one as well, and we took a look at moving that over actually, and getting that clear of the utility pole, and we're able to provide this ramp location and revised crosswalk and revised reciprocal ramp on our site to accommodate and get that pole kind of out of the way of the clear landing zone of the ramp itself. So I think we sent both those over accessibility, and I think we got a positive feedback on that. So happy to answer any questions on that front or go back to plans if folks want to look at anything.
I know that Guy had sent over a bunch of stuff regarding the bike lane, and I think that we had maybe sent something to the fire department and that we haven't finished that. I didn't want to slow you guys down. So that is, as of yet, unresolved. Hopefully its resolution would come, or any of our modifications will come in paint. So it won't necessarily impact anything here, but I want to leave that as where the bike lane will be is an unresolved issue, but I didn't think that, like you guys would want me to push you off the agenda, so I think we can resolve that after the fact.
Appreciate that. Did you want to go through those options now, or you want to, is that?
Well, so I think that we have some questions out to fire, which I think will largely govern what we're allowed to do here, right? Like I think that we were taking on the fact that the conversation with fire can happen via us and not from you, about when we get down below 20 feet. So I know that we might have started that conversation, but I don't think we've gotten any resolution. So I will vote, I'll make this vote contingent upon that's resolution, but hopefully it won't substantially change anything that's actually appearing on these Mylars and will be mainly stripes.
Yeah.
Certainly, appreciate it.
So we would go with the parking protected bike lane, basically, Amy, right?
Yeah, right. So we're trying to talk, I think that the problem is getting wrapped up in kind of other larger conversations that we're having with them. So it's hard for me to get a project specific conversation so that I can just get this one kind of free and clear. But yeah, I think that we'll have an answer, but I don't think that any of the changes that we'll be asking would, we can make those on Mylar, and hopefully they will.
Yeah, at a minimum, we'll put in, if you zoom back a little bit to the other plan.
Yeah.
No, you're on that plan. You're on the, yeah.
Sorry.
Just we'll definitely put in a 2-foot buffer strip, which didn't really show up on the renderings you saw, but it is actually in the TAPA. So at a minimum, we'll do that, right?
Yeah, and so like I said, we're having a conversation with fire, but it's about multiple things, so I'll try to shake a specific answer on this one loose. But yeah, I wanted to be able to at least vote today, contingent on that, so that you guys don't have to continue the hearings.
Yeah, let me know if you need any support on that, Amy. We can help out with that.
Yeah, well, we're entering slowly.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments by commission members?
I just wanted to thank the project team for taking another look at those two ramps. We really appreciate the effort to get better crossings at these locations.
Oh, well, thanks, Sarah. I think it worked out better in both locations.
Any other questions by PSC commissioners? PSC staff?
All set.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 10, contingent upon the resolution of the bike lane design with BTD.
I'll make a motion to approve public hearing number 10 on a petition by LBC Boston Partners Property for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Brighton: Linden Street, Pratt Street, Cambridge Street, and more importantly, is read into the record by the chair, contingent upon BTD approval of the bike racks, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, revised September 6, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, public hearing item number 11 on a petition by CCC River LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to the following public ways in Hyde Park, River Street on its northerly side at address numbers 1185 to 1203 west of Central Ave, Central Ave on its westerly side at address number 12 north of River Street, new business 8/25/2022, is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan 1185 and 1191 to 1203 River Street and 12 Central Ave, Hyde Park, one sheet dated August 2nd, 2022.
Morning, Ms. Cording, members of the board, Attorney John Fulgini on behalf of the developer's proposal. As you stated, this proposal actually is located on 1201 River Street. That's located between Harvard Ave, Central Ave, and the rear is Winthrop Street. It's currently a single-story retail node with an auto repair shop on Central Ave. This proposal it has been approved for 63 senior affordable housing units, and as part of the permitting process and community process, certain improvements, street improvements were requested together with a pedestrian easement where we're pulling the building back, together with community process where we're adding, hoping to add some street trees and relocating a street light into the rear, replacing a stretch of sidewalk that is in disrepair on Winthrop Street. With me this morning is Fred Keeler from H.W. Moore, and he will walk you all through the plans. But thank you for having us.
Good morning, Fred Keeler from H.W. Moore Associates. This is we're looking at the proposed pedestrian easement along River Street, public to the corner of Central Ave. The easement is required in order to provide a 5-foot wide pedestrian path of travel behind the existing tree pits on River Street, and then also to encompass the pinch point on the corner of River and Central, the property lines pinch in, provide less than a 5-foot pedestrian path of travel. So you can see the easement, it's about 1.26 feet along River Street and a little bit wider at the corner of Central, but it's as shown on the plan. Happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Questions or comments by commission members? PSC staff?
We're good.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public. I see a hand raised.
Yeah, hi.
Go ahead, Mr. O'Brien.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Frank O'Brien here. I'm appearing on behalf of the 2 Winthrop Street residents who are butters, one across the street. Yeah, thank you for moving the plans. One across the street and the other immediately to the right. And as you may recall, I know you have a lot of business in front of you. The last time this was here in front of the PIC, we raised the question of whether there could be a neighborhood, a butters meeting, which was then subsequently held through the coordination of the mayor's office as well as the applicant. And we addressed the concerns primarily as was indicated, for the sidewalk and street trees, so we much appreciate that. And going forward, we're in total support of what's in front of you, and appreciate everyone's accommodation. There is still a BPDA design review process that we're hoping to participate for issues on the site around lighting, and particularly what's now sort of an informal walkway between the Hyde Park Branch Library and Winthrop Street. And so we'll participate in that. But in terms of this plan, we're fully in support and very much appreciate Mr. Pulgini and the applicant's accommodation of our concerns. Thank you.
Any other comments from public? All right, I will entertain a motion on public hearing item number 11.
I make a motion to approve a petition by CCC River LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement in the location of River Street and Central Ave, as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Public hearing item number 12 on a petition by CCC River LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Hyde Park, consisting of curb and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, storm drain infrastructure, bike racks, driveway curb cuts, and raised crosswalk. River Street generally at addresses number 1185 to 1203, west of Central Ave generally at address number 12, north of River Street, Winthrop Street, on its southerly side generally west of Central Ave. New business 82522 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan 1185 and 1191 to 1203 River Street and 12 Central Ave, Hyde Park, 2 sheets dated August 2nd, 2022.
Thank you again, Ms. Cording. At this point, I'm just going to turn it over to Fred, together with, we have our landscape architect, Hillary Burskirk, on this call as well.
Thank you, John. Fred Keeler from HW Moore. The specific repairs are shown on this drawing. We're proposing to reconstruct the paver row along the curbing and then extend it up Central Avenue to the proposed driveway. There are 2 existing tree pits on River Street that will be retained, and the trees will be preserved and maintained. We're proposing on this plan 4 new tree pits along Central Avenue. We're also proposing city standard bike racks in this location on River, and then again on this location on Central. We've also coordinated with street lighting, and we're adding new street lights along Central and some new conduit along Central and River, as well as along Winthrop, along our frontage for future use. During our new business discussion, we talked about this apex ramp on the corner of Central, and in order to separate them, we would have had a very skewed crosswalk across Central. Amy suggested looking at a raised crosswalk at this location. We think that works very well. It's a great suggestion. And that's the only change to the plan from our initial discussion. With that, happy to answer any questions. I know there was the neighborhood meeting, as John had mentioned. There was some requests for some additional trees, which we can talk about, and also replacing a section of asphalt walk that's in disrepair right here on Winthrop to the corner where it turns into concrete. And the applicant is willing to do that as well. It's not quite shown on the plan yet, but we can add that to the final drawing.
Yeah, I think that anything that was promised as a result of the community meeting should get on the plans prior to Mylar. Questions or comments from commission members?
We just want to ensure that any additional trees will still allow for a minimum 5-foot path of travel to maintain an accessible route on the sidewalk.
Agreed, Sarah, yes. We're showing a 5-foot dimension behind the tree pits on Central.
Great, fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, so if your community process involves adding more trees, they shouldn't be reducing the pedestrian path any more than what you got out there or what you're showing already. PIC staff?
Just further to that point, the addition of 1 tree on River Street may require the relocation of a street light If that needs to happen, then the project will need to coordinate that with the street lighting division. And if that's not possible, then they'll just have to go with the trees that they're showing here. But we'll coordinate that after the fact.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 12.
Make the motion to approve a petition by CCC River LLC for the making of specific repairs in the area of River Street, Central Avenue, and Winthrop Street, as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, motion passes. Public hearing item number 13, on a set of joint petitions by IQHQ 109 Brookline 1 LLC and IQHQ 20 Overland LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easements adjacent to the following public ways in Boston proper: Brookline Ave on its northwesterly side at address number 109, southwest of Overland Street; Burlington Ave generally on its northwesterly terminus, northwest of Brookline Ave. New business 82522 is shown on 2 plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, Brookline Ave, Boston. 1 sheet dated April 15, 2022, and City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, Burlington Ave, Boston. 1 sheet dated September 13, 2022.
Chris, you ready? Chris Haynes?
Great, yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you, David. Good morning. My name is Chris Haynes from Gensler, the architect for the project at 109 Brookline Ave. I'll introduce the project for IQHQ, the developer of the project. As you can see in the rendering here, the project is new construction, 10-story lab office building with 2 levels of parking below grade, with parking and service access from Burlington Avenue. The project includes expanded public space, enhanced sidewalks, and bike accommodations along Brookline Ave and Overland Street. Brookline Ave, as you can see in the sort of foreground of this rendering, includes space for extensive landscaping as well as public seating. And the project also includes connection to the adjacent multi-use path that you'll see in more detail. There is proposed retail at the corner of Overland and Brookline, you can see in the rendering. As well as along Overland Street, there's 2,500 square feet of community space on Overland for community center and STEM training program and lab space. So that's an overview of the project, and next I'll hand it over to Lisa Chow from VHB. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Good morning, members of the Commission. My name is Lisa Chow with VHB. As Chris mentioned, this is a rendering to provide some context for the project. This is also another rendering that shows the proposed building entrance. This is Brookline Avenue. Before you, there is a site plan that shows the project site hatched in the red area. The site is bounded to the north by Overland Street, to the east, Brookline Avenue, and to the south, Burlington Avenue. The project has gone through the BPDA process and received BPDA board approval in January 2022. The project has also received BWSC site plan approval in June 2022, and the project has submitted the CMP to BTD and received approval. On behalf of the applicants, we are requesting the approval of a pedestrian easement on Brookline Avenue as well as Burlington Avenue to support the proposed streetscape improvements for the proposed 10-story building. Since the new business hearing on August 25th, the configuration of the proposed Burlington Ave easement has changed. This configuration was changed based on the revised orientation of the ramp connecting Burlington Ave to the adjacent multi-use path that Chris was alluding to. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments by Commission members? PIC staff?
I think we're all set on the easements.
I will entertain a motion on public hearing item number 13.
I make a motion to approve a set of joint petitions by IQHQ 109 Brookline 1 LLC and IQHQ 20 Overland LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easements at Brookline Avenue and Burlington Avenue, as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. Public hearing, item number 14, on a joint petition by IQHQ 109 Brookline 1 LLC and IQHQ 20 Overland LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, roadway, sidewalk, and stairway reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street furniture, street trees, planters, landscaping, irrigation infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, bike racks, bollards, driveway curb cuts, and a raised cycle track. Brookline Ave, generally at address number 109 south of Overland Street generally at address number 20 between Brookline Ave and David Ortiz Drive, Maitland Street. Burlington Ave, generally northwest of Burlington Ave, or Brookline Ave. New business 82522, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, Overland Street, Brookline Ave, Burlington Ave, Boston, 8 sheets dated April 15th, 2022.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning again, members of the commission. Again, Lisa Chow with VHB. On behalf of the applicants, we are requesting the approval of specific repairs on Overland Street, Brookline Avenue, and Burlington Avenue. Proposed streetscape improvements are in association with the proposed 10-story building, and they include new concrete sidewalk, permeable pavers, accessible curb ramps, vertical granite curb cuts, stairs, irrigation lines, and handholds, bike racks, benches, street lights, tree pits, and planting areas. There are a couple changes since the new business hearing. At the new business hearing, there was a request to provide a cycle track for a portion of Overland Street. The project team studied this further and discussed with BTD and PIZ staff. The plan before you shows the incorporation of a cycle track on a portion of Overland Street, approximately fronting the 109 building. The other update is on Burlington Ave. As discussed during the pedestrian easement discussions, the orientation of the pedestrian ramp connecting Burlington Ave to the multi-use path was revised. This was a request related to keep the proposed pedestrian ramp to the multi-use path on IQHQ's property. This request changed the orientation of the ramp as well as the sidewalk improvements. Are there any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any specific questions, but I would say that we'll probably want to talk about the design of the end of the cycle track, just so that we don't have people parking at the end of it.
Okay.
There's room for one person to make it impossible to get out of in its current iteration. Questions or comments by commission members? PSC staff?
Just want to note the stairway that's being reconstructed on Overland Street. That is an existing stairway. We typically don't like those types of features in the public right of way, but because it's already there and they're just modifying it, we are allowing it in this case.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing number 14.
I make a motion to approve a joint petition by IQHQ 109 Brookline 1 LLC and IQHQ 20 Overland LLC for specific repairs, as more specifically read into the record by the chair at Brookline Avenue, Overland Street, and Burlington Avenue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public hearing item number 15, on a petition by IQHQ 109 Brookline 1 LLC for the granting of an earth retention license for the installation of a temporary earth support system in the following public ways in Boston proper, Brookline Ave, on its northwesterly side at address 109 southwest of Overland Street on its southwesterly side northwest of Brookline Ave. New business 825-2022 is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Temporary Earth Retention Plan 109 Brookline Ave, Boston, one sheet dated March 4th, 22.
Again, my name is Lisa Chow with VHB, and again, on behalf of the applicants, we are requesting the approval of temporary earth support on Overland Street and Brookline Avenue in association with the proposed 10-story building. The proposed temporary earth support include soldier piles and timber lagging outside of the property line, but within the limits of the sidewalk on Overland Street and Brookline Avenue to provide support to allow for the construction of the perimeter cap beam, as well as the removal of a portion of an existing vault. At the new business hearing, there was a comment about the cutoff depth at Brookline Avenue from PIC staff. Since then, the team has looked into this possibility of increasing that depth further. We also met with PIC staff, and it was discussed and agreed that the project will cut down as deep as possible, but no less than 6 feet below ground surface due to the proximity of existing utility lines. The temporary earth support plan that's before you has been updated to note the cut down depth on Brookline Avenue, as well as updated to reflect the currently proposed slurry wall layout. I'm happy to answer any further questions.
Where are you with Ed in the CMP?
It has been approved.
Great. Questions or comments from commission members? PIC staff?
Set.
I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 15.
I make a motion to approve a petition by IQHQ 109 Brookline 1 LLC for the granting of an earth retention license in the area of Brookline Ave and Overland Street, as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing item number 16 on a petition by Wentworth Institute of Technology for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Halleck Street Public Way, Roxbury, located on its northwesterly side at the rear of 600 Parker Street, generally between Prentice Street and Station Street. New business 82522 is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening Relocation, Halleck Street Public Way, Roxbury, District 1, sheet dated August 22.
Hello there, good morning. My name is Jennifer Schultz and I am Permitting and Land Use Counsel for Wentworth Institute of Technology. I'm here to request a 2-week continuance until October 6th for this petition, and I'll be saying the same thing for the next 2 petitions in order to provide the petitioner just a little bit more time to work with city staff to ensure that all petitions are mutually acceptable to everybody.
Great. You're gonna have to bear with us on the reading of this, but I will entertain a motion to continue public hearing item number 16 for 2 weeks until October 6th.
I make a motion to continue public hearing 16 agenda, petition by Wentworth Institute of Technology for the widening and relocation at Halleck Street, is more particularly read into the record by the chair, for 2 weeks until October 6th.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
See you in 2 weeks. Public hearing item number 17 on a petition by the Wentworth Institute of Technology for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Prentice Street Public Way, Roxbury, located in the southwesterly side at the side of 600 Parker Street, generally between Parker Street and Halleck Street. New business 82522 is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, Prentice Street Public Way, Roxbury, District 1, sheet dated August 2022.
Good morning again, still Jennifer Schultz, Land Use Counsel on behalf of Wentworth Institute of Technology, here to request also a continuance on this petition, and also to note that in working with city staff, Wentworth is prepared to provide a widening of the sidewalk also into its property along Parker and Halleck Street, and therefore its pedestrian easement petition will be extended and updated on a plan to show that it will be offered along Prentice Street, Parker Street, and Halleck Street.
I will entertain a motion to continue public hearing item number 17 for 2 weeks until October 6th.
I make a motion to continue public hearing agenda item 17 for 2 weeks until the October 6th hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See you in 2 weeks. Public hearing number 18 on a petition by Wentworth Institute of Technology for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Roxbury, consisting of curb, roadway, and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, planters, landscaping, storm drain infrastructure, bike racks, driveway curb cuts, and raised crosswalks. Parker Street, generally at address number 600 between Prentice Street and Station Street, Prentice Street between Parker Street and Howard Street, Howard Street between Prentice Street and Station Street, Station Street between Parker Street and Howard Street. New business 82522 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plans, Wentworth Institute of Technology, 600 Parker Street, Howard, Prentice, and Station Street, Roxbury, 3 sheets, dated August 2022.
Me again, Jennifer Schultz, Land Use Council for Wentworth Institute of Technology, requesting please a 2-week continuance for this petition as well until the October 6th hearing.
Great. I will entertain a motion to continue public hearing item number 18 for 2 weeks until October 6th.
I make a motion to continue public hearing agenda item 18 for 2 weeks until the next PIC hearing on October 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. We'll see
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 19 on a joint petition by Midland LLC and Midtown Tenant LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Huntington Ave Public Way, Boston proper, located on its southeasterly side at address numbers 200 to 220 southwest of Cumberland Street. New business 82522 is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, Huntington Ave, Boston, 1 sheet dated May 5th, 2022.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sam Randall, representing the applicant, Midtown Tenant LLC. I'm joined today by various members of the project team. Brent McDonald from Nutter, McLennan and Fish, Guy Busa from Howard Stein Hudson, Rob Hagan from CBT Architects, Ryan Gordon from Niche Engineering, Chris Jones and Carl Fashore from IBI Landscape Architecture. We were here last time to present the pedestrian easement as well as the subsequent 2 items, number 20 and 21. We'll focus on the pedestrian easement first. We did make a couple of slight tweaks just based on feedback, mostly from the BPDA. Ryan Gordon from Niche Engineering will pull up the plan and go through the specifics on that.
Yeah, so for the pedestrian easement, what we're requesting approval for is a new pedestrian easement along Huntington Avenue that's approximately 3,125 square feet, approximately 6 feet wide, that runs the length of the site. And this will help support a new 8-foot wide concrete path of travel for the length of Huntington Avenue. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments by commission members?
So I understand that between the new business and public hearing, there were some adjustments to the position of trees. Does this at all affect the bounds of the pedestrian easement that you're requesting today?
So this doesn't affect the pedestrian easement area that we are requesting. Some of the trees are specifically on the west side of Huntington Ave. It reduces and creates a pinch point of about 6.5 feet in select locations, but overall for the rest of the remaining length of the project, we have 8 feet.
Great, thank you. I think the Disabilities Commission received the plans only yesterday, so we haven't had the opportunity to kind of go in depth and really take a look at the plans and the impacts of the relocation of the trees. I know I did talk with your colleague the other day, but I think there was a recent development that I wasn't aware of due to some structural issues with the building in the complex of what I had previously thought the configuration might be. And I understand there as well that there's other outstanding questions from the BPDA. So I think we would want to request more time to be able to have that opportunity to really take a look at the impacts of the relocation of those trees on the pedestrian path of travel, because it's not typically what the Disabilities Commission expects for a new construction building. And we do understand that there were some utility conflicts that resulted in this, but we still want to have the opportunity to take that time to review.
Yeah, we'll work with you to address any comments that you have.
So you guys okay coming back in 2 weeks?
That's fine.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to continue public hearing item number 19 for 2 weeks until October 6th.
I make a motion to continue public hearing agenda item 19 for 2 weeks until the next PIC hearing on October 6th.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. See you in 2 weeks. So my assumption is that so goes the next two as far as continuances, but I mean, we have to go through all of this, but I assume that's acceptable to the project team. Okay. Public hearing item number 20 on a joint petition by Midland LLC and Midtown Tenant LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, traffic signal infrastructure, street lighting infrastructure, street furniture, street trees, planters, landscaping, storm drain infrastructure, groundwater recharge infrastructure, bike racks, bollards, trash receptacles, driveway curb cuts, and a raised cycle track. Huntington Ave at addresses number 200 to 220, generally southwest of Cumberland Street, generally between Huntington Ave and Public Alley number 404. Public Alley 404, southwest of Cumberland Street, new business 82522 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plans, 220 Huntington Ave, Public Way, Back Bay, 5 sheets dated September 21st, 22.
Hi, Sam Randall again, representing the applicant, Midtown Tenant LLC. I understand that this will likely also be continued. We are fine with that. I know Sarah needs more time to review, but I thought it would make sense to have Ryan just run through the quick tweaks that we made to the trees. We added 4 street trees on the western portion of the Huntington Ave streetscape public realm, just basically to respond to comments from the BPDA. So Ryan, I'll hand it over to you.
Sure. So on the west side of Huntington Ave, we are limited because of the underpass on Huntington Ave coming up at grade halfway through the site. So this is where we are maintaining the existing curb line. We have a new bike lane coming through here, and we do have some street trees in the furnishing zone, as well as these new trees to respond to the BPDA's comments. And this is the area that I was talking about with the pedestrian easement. And then as we move through the site, we have the bike lane that transitions onto the sidewalk. We have a drop-off area with bollards. We have new trees with the bumped out curb and the wider concrete path of travel, new street trees, street lights, bike racks. We have the reconfigured crosswalk at the Cumberland-Huntington Ave intersection. We're moving the crosswalk from the east side to the west side, new wide crosswalk, 14 feet. We have a new bump out at the Cumberland intersection, new street trees along Cumberland, street lights, bike racks. We also have full depth reconstruction of the intersection and cold plane and overlay for some parts of Huntington Ave and Cumberland Street. And then we're also doing full depth reconstruction for Public Alley 404 for the full length of the project.
And one thing just to add is the last time we were here, you may recall that the bike lane and the furnishing zone were flipped. So now we're showing the bike lane inside of the furnishing zone. And that allowed us to add a significant number of street trees to the plan, which we think improves the public realm. And again, we worked offline with the BPDA and others in the city to make this tweak over the last couple of weeks, which we think is an improvement.
And Sam, I'll just add too, this is Chris Jones from IBI. The issue on the western edge of the site that Sarah was alluding to was the fact that the furnishing zone for that entire western stretch occurs over a water line and a sewer line, or a steam line. And as a result, we weren't able to get any trees in ground. So the 6 trees you see that are smaller are actually in planters. And the proposal intended through working with Diane and Jill and the BPDA to try to come up with a solution for in-ground trees that are set back closer to the face of the building. It's creating a little bit of a circuitous route for pedestrian circulation, and that's what Sarah wants to take a closer look at, is those 4 trees specifically and their location.
Is there questions or comments on this from commission members that they'd like to see modifications to in the next 2 weeks?
I just had a quick question while I have you all here. Is the 6.5 clearance from the tree grate or from the tree trunk? What is that measurement being taken from?
Those trees aren't in grades, so it's.
They are. They're in tree grade. So it's 6.5 feet to the tree grade. It's about 7 and a smidge to the edge of the trunk.
Okay, thank you. I can take
from the back of the curb.
From the back of the curb. Okay, I can take that back to my team. Thank you.
So 2 weeks is going to be enough time for this? All right, I will entertain a motion to continue public hearing item number 20 for 2 weeks until our October 6th hearing.
I make a motion to continue public hearing agenda item 20 for 2 weeks to the next PIC hearing on October 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, see you in 2 weeks. Public hearing item number 21 on a joint petition by Midland LLC and Midtown Tenant LLC for the granting of a production license for the installation of a canopy over a portion of the sidewalk within Huntington Avenue Public Way, Boston proper, located in southeasterly side at address numbers 200 to 220, generally southwest of Cumberland Street, new business 82522, is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division License Plan 220 Huntington Ave, Public Way, Back Bay, one sheet dated August 18th, 22.
Hi again, Sam Randall, representing the applicant Midtown Tenant LLC. So as you stated, we're requesting a canopy license. This is the main entry of the residential portion of the building. This, I believe, will not be changing as a result of the public realm work that we're still contemplating with disabilities. But Ryan, do you want to expand on this piece?
Sure. As Sam said, the new canopy is at the main entrance of the building. The canopy area within the public way is approximately 132 square feet, extends about 8.7 feet out over into the public way out of a 19 feet to the new curb line. And if anyone has any questions about that, I'll also add, we have 11 feet clear from the sidewalk to the canopy, and the canopy is removable, heat trace, and itself drains internally to the building.
I'm not sure that you can use the full dimension out to the 19 or whatever as our full sidewalk dimension to get your then allowable canopy dimension, but I will allow Todd to give you the details of what the requirements will be for that.
Yeah, I think we're going to want to see this comply with like a 2/3 rule as measured from the face of the building to the edge of the bike lane.
So will 2 weeks, I guess, be enough time to, we can give you more details on that. It's 2/3 of a sidewalk, not sidewalk and bike lane, regardless of the level of the bike lane, for that dimension. So, I'm assuming 2 weeks we can figure this out?
Yes.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to continue, public hearing item number 21 for 2 weeks until our October 6th hearing.
I make a motion to continue public hearing agenda item number 21 for 2 weeks until the next hearing on October 6th.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 22, on a petition by Comcast Boston Inc. for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Boston proper: Harcourt Street at the rear of 100 Huntington Ave between St. Paul Street and Public Alley number 401, Public Alley number 401 southwest of Harcourt Street, new business 8.522, is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 100 Huntington Ave, Harcourt Street, Public Alley 401, Boston, one sheet dated November 2021.
And good morning, members of the commission. Tim Corthale here, representing Comcast. Just a quick overview of the project. We have an existing manhole out the back, Public Alley 401. We're going to continue down to the intersection of St. Paul and Harcourt Street, and then continuing through the brick crosswalk area to the Copley Place garage area, just to bring another service into the Copley Place Mall, providing for many customers in there waiting for service. Sorry, I just wanted to share again with you one picture that was a concern last time. There is some of the brickwork that has been in disarray, but we will take care of that if we impede any of this and go through the brickwork here.
Great. Questions or comments from commission members? PIC staff?
All set.
I'll entertain a motion to approve public hearing item number 22.
I make a motion to approve a petition by Comcast of Boston for a grant of location in the location of Harcourt Street, Public Alley number 401, as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem. Public hearing item number 23 on a petition by Extenet Systems for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in East Boston: Saratoga Street, generally between Chaucer Street and Brandywine Drive, Wordsworth Street, northwest of Saratoga Street, new business 82522, is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Wordsworth Street, Saratoga Street, East Boston, 14 sheets dated August 22.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Keenan Brin. I'm with Extenet Systems. I'm joined by Han from NBC Engineering and Arthur Pino from Extenet Construction. We're back in front of you for a petition that requests permission to install a 4-inch fiber conduit in the public right-of-way. This particular fiber run starts from a manhole on Saratoga Street and continues northeast, where it crosses Moore Street and continues on Saratoga. It then crosses Byron Street and eventually heads west on Wordsworth Street. There are 2 spurs that lead to poles at the intersection of Addison Street, and then it finally continues on Saratoga Street. The total run of this fiber installation is approximately 3,542 feet. Extenet will install the city shadow duct and try to work with any local business and entrepreneurs about parking and such during construction. We were here 3 weeks ago. I don't recall that there were any questions or concerns raised, but we'd be happy to hear any questions you may have now.
Questions or comments from commission members? PIC staff?
All set.
I'll entertain a motion to approve public hearing item number 23.
I make a motion to approve a petition by Extenet Systems for a grant of location in the area of Saratoga Street and Wordsworth Street as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. Public hearing item number 24 on a petition by Extenet Systems, Inc. for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install a new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in East Boston: Meridian Street, generally between Gov and Porter Street / Bennington Street, Gov Street, southeast of Meridian Street, Central Square, generally between Meridian Street and Border Street. New business 82522 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Gov Street, Meridian Street, Central Square, East Boston, 8 sheets dated August 22.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Keenan Bryn here on behalf of Extenet Systems. I'm joined by Han and Arthur Pino. We have a similar request here. This is a fiber petition to install a 4-inch fiber conduit in the public right-of-way. This particular fiber run begins on Gov Street, eventually turns onto Meridian, where it heads north and goes into Central Square, where it heads west and eventually terminates there. The total run of this is about 1,170 feet. Extenet will install a city shadow duct and certainly work with the local community and entrepreneurs about parking and construction management. We were here 3 weeks ago, and I don't recall any questions or concerns about this run as well, but we'd be happy to entertain any questions at this point.
Questions or comments from commission members? Okay, I see staff.
All set.
I'll entertain a motion to approve public hearing item number 24.
I make a motion to approve a petition by Extenet Systems for a grant of location at Meridian and Gove Streets and Central Square as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
All right, on to my favorite, the city roadway acceptance portion of our hearing. On a petition by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the acceptance of city roadways of the following public ways in Boston proper: Cross Street between Hanover Street and North Washington Street / Cooper Street, Salem Street northeast of Cross Street, Endicott Street between Cross Street and Stillman Street, Stillman Street between Cross Street and Endicott Street, North Washington Street between Valenti Way and New Chardon Street / Fitzgerald Surface Road, Beverly Street between North Washington Street and Causeway Street, Anthony Rip Valenti Way between North Washington Street and Canal Street, Causeway Street between Haverhill Street and Lovejoy Wharf, John F. Fitzgerald Expressway Surface Road between Hanover Street and New Chardon Street / North Washington Street, Sudbury Street between Cross Street and Congress Street / Merrimack Street, New Chardon Street between Canal Street and Fitzgerald Surface Road / North Washington Street, Hanover Street between Blackstone Street and Congress Street, Haverhill Street between Valenti Way and Causeway Street, Congress Street between Hanover Street and Sudbury Street / Merrimack Street, Beach Street generally at Fitzgerald Surface Road, is shown on a set of plans entitled Public Roadway Acceptance Plan, Cross Street, John F. Fitzgerald Surface Road, Hanover Street, North Washington Street, Beverly Street, Valenti Way, Causeway Street, Salem Street, Endicott Street, Sudbury Street, New Chardon Street, Haverhill Street, Beach Street, Boston proper, 32 sheets dated September 22, 22. John?
Madam Chair, sorry. All set?
Yep.
Madam Chair, John Romano from Mass Department of Transportation. I'm here with Alan Ramirez from Mass DOT and also Matt Goldie from HDR, who's controlling the plans on the screen. As you stated, we're here for the Public Improvement Commission to accept these streets and the work that we did to get them prepared. This is a pretty exciting day. Over, I don't know, 12 to 15 years worth of work for yourself, Todd, from the staff. We've been working collectively on this, and hundreds and hundreds of hours have gone into getting to this point. Should these be accepted today, this will culminate all of the streets in the downtown area being turned over to the city. And we're pretty excited about this. Today we bring the remaining part of contract area 3, which is generally from Hanover Street where it connects where we came and were approved in February, all the way down to Causeway Street, which is the end of the downtown section of contract area 3, and will give us from Nayland Street all the way to Causeway Street, all of the streets and sidewalks in the downtown area turned back over to the city of Boston, starting back in Tip O'Neill's days in the Big Dig. So I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns by yourself and the commission members.
Fantastic. We'll have to wait for the first crappy day and go for a walk to celebrate. I personally, obviously, don't have any questions about this one, but commission members, questions or comments? PIC staff?
No.
All right. Well, then I happily will entertain a motion on city roadway acceptance item number 1.
I make a motion to approve agenda item city roadway acceptance number 1, a petition by the Commonwealth of Mass Department of the Department of Transportation for the acceptance of city roadways, generally in the area of North Washington Street, Hanover Street, and Causeway Street, and as more specifically read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Todd, for all your help. We'll be back in a few months with the Seaport area. Thank you.
I can't wait.
Thanks.
All right, on to our new business. New business item number 1, 100 Weld Street, 1400 Center Street, West Roxbury, vertical discontinuances, specific repairs on a set of petitions by Horizon Development, LLC.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. James Gallagher on behalf of the petitioner, Horizon Development. We've been working with most of the members for a long time. My client's constructed a building at the corner of Weld that Mr. Messenger is going to put up. I'm here today with Robert Messenger from our engineering department, our engineering consultant, and Gary Martell, who's here on behalf of the petitioner. That original picture there, or the overhead picture, shows the building as constructed. And so we've been working to come forward with both the vertical discontinuance, because there are some overhangs, and specific repairs to address sidewalk, island, and other reciprocal sidewalk issues. And I will turn it over to Mr. Messenger to take you through the plans to give everyone a better idea.
Thank you, Jim. And again, my name is Bob Messenger from Howard Stein Hudson. And just for the locus map here, Jim already mentioned, we're in Rosendale. Weld Street's running through the center of your screen here. We have Center Street running bottom left to top right in Andover Road, also here. So to start, the project has some discontinuances on this stretch, both on Center Street and Weld Street. This is an image showing the building on Center Street. We have a few different levels of projections over the right-of-way. So there's a main roof level, a mid-roof level, and a lower roof level. And there are some bay projections as well, which I will get into. Plan view of this discontinuance. This is Center Street right here and Weld Street. This shows the overall footprint of the projections, but as I mentioned, it's on a few different levels, so I'll show you those sections. And on Weld Street here, we have smaller projections as well for the roof. I'll start here on Weld Street. Here we have the same image, just a different orientation, so they're triangular projections from the roof levels. On this section view, you can see here, we have the main roof level higher up, and then a lower roof level where there's projections. And these in total are about 35 cubic feet for this whole side of the street. And just for a good section view, you can see they're all about 1 foot in elevation, and they're varying widths in their projections. Moving on to Center Street, where there's more significant discontinuances. As I mentioned, they're on a few different roof levels. So this plan view here is showing the main roof projection on the highest point, and that is 269 square feet total. And the cubic feet is also 269 square feet because it's a 1 foot roof projection in elevation. The mid roof projection's a little bit lower, that's 210 square feet. And the lower roof projection is 229 square feet. And it's probably easier to visualize on this section view. Got the main roof area up top, mid roof area and lower roof. And I mentioned earlier the bays, so those are also included. This 3rd and 4th floor bay, that volume is about 1,300 cubic feet. And there's a 2nd and 3rd volume bay that has a volume of 1,600 cubic feet. And you're on Center Street looking at the building here, Walt Street intersection is to your left. And just for a nice section view here, here's what the bay looks like. You have the main roof level, which I previously pointed out. And then this bay here on the 3rd and 4th floor bumps out a little under 4 feet. And for another section, the 2nd and 3rd floor bay, see the upper main level roof, you have your mid roof, and then the 2nd and 3rd floor bay here. And again, bumping out a little under 4 feet, and then the lower roof section as well. Be happy to answer any questions on the discontinuance. If there's none, I can move forward to the specific repairs.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so for the specific repairs of the project, here's the plan with different orientation. We have Center Street run through the middle, Weld Street bottom right to the top left, and Andover Road up here. So project overall, we coordinated heavily with the city to provide improvements to the intersection in general. I'll first start with what's in front of our building and what will be, taken care of with the LMI. So to start, we have curb realignment and new concrete sidewalk. We're bumping out this sidewalk significantly. In this stretch here on Center Street, we have 10.5 feet from behind the street trees to the property line. As I mentioned, street trees, we have 4 in total on Center Street. There aren't any on Weld Street, but we're proposing 4 here on Center. We are relocating all these existing ramps for the intersection improvements, and those new ramps will have pedestrian push buttons, and they're better located for a straight crossing and less severe angles and shorter crossings. And again, as we're moving toward the intersection, these new ramps and curb realignment, we will be relocating the street lighting and adjusting utilities as needed. And on Weld Street, it's curb realignment and this ramp here, but mostly just sidewalk reconstruction. And for the intersection overall, as I mentioned, we coordinated with the city and got their recommendations for design. So all these ramps, as I mentioned, will be reconstructed. We're relocating this median and bumping out the curb here to provide a nice safe crossing. The existing condition crossing was a lot more severe in angle and much longer of a crossing, so this will hopefully provide a safer avenue for pedestrians. And we're doing the reciprocal ramps for the limits of the project. And of course, this is all new cement concrete, and we'll have new pedestrian push buttons for all of these new ramps. And again, any associated utilities will be relocated or adjusted as needed.
Questions or comments from commission members? Yeah, I mean, I know that you guys have been working on this for a while with us, so thank you for this. I see Julia O'Brien, you have your hand raised. Maybe not. PIC staff?
Yep, Ms. O'Brien, if you would like to unmute yourself, please feel free.
I think I just managed to do that. Thank you.
There you go.
I'm here really on behalf of the Longfellow Area Neighborhood Association. We would very much like a presentation of this to the association before any PIC approval. We're unaware, maybe it's our fault, but we were unaware that the plans had proceeded to quite this extent, and do have a number of questions about it that would probably be easily answered by a presentation at an upcoming meeting, either perhaps on the 17th of October or early in November. The other question that has been raised by some is one really of process that we're a little unfamiliar with. Are vertical variances usually granted after the construction of a building or prior to the construction of a building?
Typically prior.
I see. So this is unusual in that respect.
Yes, all of these actions would typically happen prior to construction.
Okay, well, I'm glad they're happening now. So this, we would, I guess my question is, we would ask the proponent if they would be willing to come to an upcoming LANA meeting and make a presentation of this. It's a curious intersection. It's badly skewed and probably difficult to deal with as a result. We're interested in the left turn from Center Street onto Wells Street. We're interested in the dimensions of Wells Street. There is a
looks like you've remuted.
Sorry. On the plan, it shows retaining a gas vault on Wells Street. If that is the upright cabinet that's sitting on the Wells Street sidewalk, that seems to be in the middle of the sidewalk and doesn't seem to lend itself to pedestrian passage past it very well. We're also, there's a long-standing issue just adjacent to this coming up Wells Street, where a sidewalk is discontinued or discontinuous because of what I think is a WPA era wall, but the sidewalk dribbles out, and we'd like to see them look at a resolution to that as well, if that's possible. We're also curious about the dimensions on Center Street for the left turn, Center Street northbound for the left turn onto Wells Street, and whether we end up with 2 lanes of traffic on Center Street going inbound or not. So there seem to be some dimensions lacking on the plans for us. So those are just sort of a general set of comments, but basically what we're asking for is some community review and discussion prior to PAC continuing.
Is the project team amenable to meeting with the neighborhood group to walk through the plans?
I'd have to speak to my clients. I would say that to some of the things that Mrs. O'Brien brought up, I don't know that that's actually in the cognizance of my clients. The left turn from Center Street to Weld, some of those things aren't under our control, or the extended sidewalk on Weld Street, which I'm familiar with from being in the area.
So I guess there's a couple things that we can, right, so to Ms. O'Brien's comments, right, this is somewhat out of order for how we usually do review. So yes, typically the vertical discontinuances and these specific repairs would have come in advance. With this right now, a lot of what you're seeing here is the project team reacting to comments from the city, both the Transportation Department, Public Works Department, and the Commission for Persons with Disabilities regarding issues with both the geometry and accessibility at this intersection. So a lot of this work is they're doing this on our behalf, right, our request, so that we could take a stab at making this better, safer, better crossings, and do some work at kind of helping the alignment. So that's what they've done here at our request. I can assure you that turning movements and everything else have been considered so that all cars can appropriately make whatever maneuver they need to. For the gas fault, that was a separate PIC action that came a few years ago, and that actually used to not be sidewalk at all until they essentially came and put the gas fault there. It was just kind of grass, and then it ends again after that. So I don't think that the continuation of that sidewalk or, but I don't think that there's anything vertical to it. They're flush faults, but the sidewalk does end immediately after them. But I will say that is not necessarily the purview of this particular project or project team. I'm happy to have them come and talk to you about what's happening here and give you a walk through the plans. I think some of the plans with additional pavement markings might help you contextually with how traffic would move through here that I'm sure they can also share with you. So I guess, yeah, I think the desire would be for the project team to meet with the community to walk them through the plans, I think with full understanding of you being able to tell them what is and is not within kind of the scope of this project.
Yeah, and
but
I'm sorry, just
let them know what's
confirm with my
happening.
client. We can do that. Sorry to interrupt.
So I guess then my question is, do we think we can pull off this meeting in 2 weeks, or would you guys prefer 4 weeks?
From the Longfellow Area Neighborhood Association point of view, 4 weeks would be better.
Would that be acceptable to the project team?
Yes, I'm sure we could get it done.
Great. So let's set that up, and you guys can come back in 4 weeks, which would be October 20th. Is that right, Tom?
Yes. 20th.
So we'll see you at our October 20th hearing.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you to the dean.
No problem. New business item number 2, 804 Hyde Park Ave, Clare Ave, American Legion Highway, Hyde Park, specific repairs on a petition by 804 HPA LLC.
I'd say good morning, but I think we just switched into the afternoon, so I'll change the introduction. It's good afternoon, members of the commission. My name is Brian Tim with R.J. O'Connell and Associates. We're the site civil engineer for this project. Here with us today is also the applicant, Ina Chihu of 804 HBA, as well as another member of the team, Mark Savatsky. As we mentioned, we are here before the commission for a project proposed at 804 Hyde Park Avenue, which is shown on the screen here. We're proposing the demolition of 2 existing single-family homes and the construction of a 34-unit multi-story residential building on the lot. We're here before the commission for the specific repairs that's going to occur in the public realm of essentially closing 2 existing curb cuts that are located on American Legion Highway, more specifically in these locations here and another second here. We will be creating a new curb cut over on Clare Avenue, which will provide vehicular access to a 19-space parking garage located on the first floor of the new dwelling or new building. We also will, as part of the project, we will be modifying the curb realignments at the intersections of both American Legion Highway and Hyde Park Avenue, in the location shown on the screen here, and the other intersection of American Legion Highway and Clare Avenue here, essentially making those radius a little bit tighter and improving the pedestrian movements in that location. With that, we will be modifying, rebuilding, reconstructing curb ramps at those locations, and as you can see in these 3 locations there. It's essentially, that's what we're looking to do in the public realm here, and we're here to open that up to any questions.
Would it be possible to extend the Hyde Park Ave median to the crosswalk?
To the crosswalk. can definitely take a look at that. Are you talking in this location here, Ms. Cording?
Yeah, I just don't want U-turns, right, kind of happening over the crosswalk and in that gap. I know that a gap exists today, but I think that where, like, you'll end up making that gap bigger. Also, the stop bar is kind of now in an irrational spot.
That makes sense, and we can definitely take a look into that.
Questions or comments by other commission members? Todd?
All set?
All right, is 2 weeks gonna be enough time for you guys?
We will do what we can here for sure and submit revised plans.
Great, so we'll see you on October 6th.
Sounds great, thank you.
New business item number 3, 71 to 85 Guest Street, Brighton Sidewalk Cafe license on a petition by Broken Records Beer Hall LLC.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, or good afternoon, rather, members of the commission. Ryan Gosda from McDermott Quilty Miller on behalf of the applicant Broken Records Beer Hall LLC. I believe on me with the call is Thomas Shea, who is the manager of record. This is an existing restaurant, Broken Records Beer Hall, at 70 to 92 Guest Street. It recently opened about a year ago. And as the name implies, it's a restaurant serving a variety of comfort foods with an extensive beer list. They have an indoor capacity of about 140 persons, but they filed this petition for the ability to seat additional patrons out on the public sidewalk in front of 71 Guest Street. It will accommodate up to 16 persons. I can screen share the plan here. Bear with me one moment. Giving me issues to share. Bear with me, I apologize.
Can you share?
Yeah, I'm hitting firewall issues for some reason. I apologize. If I can summarize, if Todd is able to pull it up, it's 4 separate areas between the tree grates in front of 71 Guest Street. Overall, it's about 394 square feet with 4 seats in each of the 4 separate areas. I did have a picture as well to show in front of the premise as well. Great, thank you, Todd, and I apologize. So as you can see there, as I was saying, there's 4 separate areas, if you will, with 4 seats in each of them. So totaling 16 seats, 394 square feet between them. All of the dimensions are a requirement that the city has in terms of the opening and ADA compliance issues. Realistically, they probably won't get much use out of it this season, but it'll be beneficial for next year when they open in the spring. With that, we're happy to answer any questions you all might have. I believe this was proposed to the community groups back when the site was in development. This is part of the Boston Landing site. So the restaurant itself, as well as the seating plans, were proposed to the community groups back when that was discussed years ago. And the interior closing hour for the restaurant is 2 a.m., but they're seeking an 11 p.m. closing hour for the patio.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you so much for your presentation. I did have a few questions through our back and forth over email. We just want to ensure that accessible seating will be part of the plan. And I understand that furniture cut sheets aren't available yet. But when they do become available, is that possible to share with my office, as well as just adding a note to indicate that seating fixture dimension on the plans, just ensuring that there will be wheelchair user seating available to folks per the building code. And then.
Absolutely, no problem. And I can say that in the plan that's on the screen right now, the third section, if you will, that area there has been updated to show seating designated for wheelchairs.
Great, fantastic. And we just want to ensure that the tables being used can accommodate those dimensions as well. So if that could just be written on the plan somewhere, that would be helpful.
Will do, no problem.
Questions or comments from other commission members? PSC staff?
Two very quick things. One, we'd like the proponent to recognize that the current state liquor laws have been relaxed due to COVID and currently allow the service of alcohol across the public sidewalk, as shown here. That may or may not continue, so any service to these seating areas away from the building will need to comply with all state liquor license laws. And two, you're showing two existing benches here on the right that are proposed to be relocated. You don't need to tell us right now, but we would like a little bit more information on where you envision those going. So if we can connect on that, Ryan, offline, that'd be great.
Yep, absolutely noted on the issue with respect to compliance, and we do have a plan showing where the benches will be relocated, so I can get that over to you.
Thank you.
2 weeks gonna be enough time?
I believe it should be good on our end.
All right, I'll see you in 2 weeks then.
Thank you very much.
New business number 4, 621 Beacon Street, Boston proper, grant of location on a set of petitions by Cambridge Network Solutions LLC.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Can you see me? Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Excellent. Let me share my screen. I haven't done this in a while. And that is this plan right here. Okay. Good afternoon, members of the commission. This is Herb Bertoni from Cambridge Network Solutions. We are proposing to place 261 feet of 2 4-inch PVC conduit with one of those is a city shadow conduit and 1 3x3 handhole between 2 Eversource manholes on Beacon Street, starting at Kenmore Street as shown on this plan. Let's see the whole thing. So coming out of this Eversource manhole, running down, placing a handhole here, and into this other Eversource manhole. So if anybody has any questions, field those.
Questions or comments by commission members? Todd?
Good.
2 weeks, I'm assuming will be enough?
All right.
All right, see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
New business number 5, Louis Prang Street at 20 Museum Road, Roxbury, grant of location on a petition by Cambridge Network Solutions LLC.
And that would be me also. So this one is another conduit build of Louis Prang. It's approximately 271 feet, 2 4-inch PVC conduit, which includes city shadow. It runs from the intersection of Evans Way down into the rear of 20 Museum Road. And I'll field any questions if anybody has.
Questions or comments by commission members? Todd?
All set.
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right, new business number 6, Cottage Street, Webster Street, Sumner Street, East Boston, grant of location on a petition by Exonet Systems.
Good afternoon. This is Keenan Bryn from Exonet Systems. I'm joined by Han from NBC Engineering and Arthur Pino from Exonet Construction. Exonet is proposing a fiber run in the public right-of-way. This is a run of approximately 400 feet. The petition requests permission to install a 4-inch PVC fiber duct with city shadow conduit. The run starts out at a pole on Sumner Street. It immediately takes a right turn after that onto Cottage for the majority of the run, where it heads south. It eventually terminates at the intersection with Webster Street, and they're right where that pole is on that riser. Again, there'll be city shadow duct installed. There was an issue raised by the Park Department about protecting the trees. We've tried to incorporate the notes up in the upper left-hand corner there. I think those were acceptable for the Parks Department. And again, if there's any other questions or concerns, we could deal with them between now and the next meeting. But those are the notes that I think they wanted to see. Basically, it talks about protection during construction. So if there's any other questions, we'd be happy to hear them now.
Questions or comments from commission members? Todd?
All set.
All right, so 2 weeks it is.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Perfect. New business item number 7, 162-176 Boylston Street, Charles Street, Boston proper, grant of location on a petition by Verizon New England.
Good afternoon, it's James Day Toronto, contract engineer at Verizon, representing Verizon New England. And just to re-clarify, I think my new business is out of order. You said Boylston Street and Charles Street, is that correct?
Yes, we're on new business item number 7, which is 162-176 Boylston Street and Charles.
Okay, sounds good. So this petition from Verizon to place conduit and city shadow from manhole 1345 on Boylston Street to 3 handhole locations, one on Boylston Street, another on Charles Street, and if we continue down Charles Street, the conduit will cross and terminate at each location. Extenet will be placing a shared use handhole, and that will be future placement. Are there any questions?
No, I guess my question is for Todd. If this has Extenet in it or a future Extenet thing, or should they be included here on this?
So this has been a point of conversation over the past year or so. All of this infrastructure that's being proposed is going to be owned by Verizon, and James can certainly correct me on all of this. But that Verizon infrastructure is leading to DAS nodes, which will be owned by Extenet. So based on these conversations, Extenet doesn't necessarily need to be listed as a petitioner here, but they are benefiting.
Perfect. Is 2 weeks, 2 weeks gonna be enough time for you?
Should be fine.
Great. New business number 8, Charles Street at Beacon Street, Boston proper, grant of location on a petition by Verizon.
Again, James representing Verizon New England. About 468 feet of new conduit from manhole 64 at the intersection of Beacon Street and Charles Street, terminating at a shared use handhole to be placed by Extenet. Any questions?
Questions or comments by commission members? Yes, staff?
All set.
All right, see you in 2 weeks. New business number 9, Nealon Street, Atlantic Ave, Boston proper, grant of location on a petition by Verizon New England.
Verizon's petitioning to place about 256 feet of conduit with city shadow from manhole 434, Nealon Street, to a new shared use handhole to be placed by Extenet Systems on Atlantic Ave. Any questions?
Questions or comments by commission members? KC staff?
We're good.
All right, see you back in 2 weeks. New business item number 10, 260 Albert Street, Ruggles Street, Roxbury, grant of location on a set of petitions by Verizon New England.
Again, James representing Verizon New England. New 545 feet of conduit with city shadow from manhole 915A on Wentworth Street to be placed to a new proposed shared use handhole to be placed by Extenet Systems. Any questions?
Questions or comments by commission members? PSC staff?
All set.
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Awesome, thank you so much.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
2 weeks.
Thank you.